finally getting cracking on doing the catch can, EGR delete and PCV valve on this MPS3. What a mission, man, just to get the manifold out. The manifold's ready to go, all the bolts are out, it's ready to come out. I just ran out of time today, but turned into a real mission. So intake and battery off. I don't really want to start unplugging stuff. It's going to be a nightmare. I don't know where most of this stuff goes anyway, so it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. To get the EGR off, I had to get in down here behind the intake. I don't want to take the intake to the turbo right off as well, because that's just another ball ache, having to get that behind there. I managed to get it off though, and I reckon I can get the EGR plate on that pretty easily. And one thing that I did notice though is that the intake is hella small going into the turbo. If I was going to keep this car, I would 100% get a Cork Sport intake for this. It's got a little blitz filter on it, seems to go okay, but yeah, that's super restricted. So that's one thing I'd definitely do. It was an absolute mission. It was a mission even getting the throttle body off, just in the position of the bolts. I had to crack the power steering pump just here and move that to the side to get to some of these bolts. That's just sort of sitting there. Not ideal, but is what it is. In an ideal world, probably would have loosened the tension off the belts, but couldn't be bothered actually get down there and doing that. So I just tapped it to one side, loosened the top two bolts, tapped it to one side, and with the bottom bolt, which I couldn't get to anyway, so I just left that. So I'll just tap that back in and line it up, left the bolt in there. So yeah, just got to take a few of these connections off down here. There's a bolt on the dipstick I've got to take off, then that'll pop straight off. Then you should be able to see, I don't know if you can see it down there, but the PCV valve's down there, in there somewhere. It's probably a bit dark. So yeah, and then straight into putting in our Tegiwa catch can, vented one at the top there. Try and get rid of a bit of blow-by, which these things have. Genuine Mazda PCV valve, and the EGR delete kit, which I need the plate for as well, the block off. So yeah, that's going to be about it. Going to put it all back together. Got a sort of bolts around the place. Probably should have labelled them, but YOLO. We'll see how we get on there. And then put it all back together. See how it goes. I mean, the thing runs really good anyway. It's just got a little bit of blow-bys that all do. The compression checked out pretty well. Was only about 10% difference in one of the cylinders. So an oil change with a slightly thicker oil, the catch can, PCV valve should sort that right out. And then we'll be away again. Putting it back together is definitely going to be a bit of a mission though. I kind of bit off a bit more than I could chew, to be honest with this. So I haven't worked on a car for ages, and I normally work on rotaries, to be honest. You know, getting a manifold off on a rotary is pretty easy, especially if it's got an IDA on it. You know, couple of bolts and take off the vacuum line to the brakes and you're into it. Only thing you got to worry about with those is cracking a start off. That's about it. But this is a bit more difficult. There's a whole bunch of stuff you've got to take off. You know, it's for the brake booster there. There's you know, all the battery box and everything that's got to come out, and all the hoses and stuff. So good thing I took a few photos, but we'll see how we go. Hopefully I don't get myself into too much trouble, but that's about it. We will get the thing tidied up and back on the road. The plan from here is I've got to do a control arm bush. I'm probably going to do the whole arm though. I don't have a press to press out the bush. I've tried it before on other cars where you cut a bit of wood and try and put it in the vise and smack the bush out, but I don't have time for that. Might as well just buy a whole arm, whack it out and back in again. I'm hoping I'll get away with not having to move the under the engine mounts and push over the engine. I'm hoping I'll get away with not having to do that. I think I should be okay having a look down there before. So we'll check it out. But that was the progress for today. Took me all day. I didn't actually film myself doing it because I didn't want anyone to hear me swear for 2 hours. I took it nice and slow as well, so I didn't break anything, which is unlike me because usually I break something or lose something. And knock on wood, I've done neither of those things. So stay tuned for the next video where we put this thing all back together and see if she starts.